Hello, this is Gerald Johan van Waas. In this series of the educational channel, I will provide you something which comes closer to the relationship to recognize how we use form recognition in general and how letters are associated with that same kind of orientation and how they are related to each other. I will also explain in this video. And this is basically what we do. We look at the world. The world will be filtered via association, via recognition, and we try to focus upon objects and have certain orientations and a combination of orientations that makes also a definition of what we want to see, of try to see, or try to define at the same time. So we see to the things that are before our eyes as physical objects. They could move also, then it needs a bit more time, so then our mind and our attention and our focus will move with it. And when that is also not clear and it even takes more time, we will add a little bit extra context. So I have a full worked out theory, and I have it already in several forms. I use this reference frame, and it is used as a filter of form recognition as well. Let's go to one example. Let's go to hand. The object, the hand, and how we are looking at the hand and how we recognize the hand also for what we do or want to do with that hand. It's all related. That's the way how we look at objects or things or orientations themselves. And then, of course, we can analyze that idea. So we look at that hand. How do we see that hand? And in which order of reference or preference do we recognize the hand as a hand and define it as a hand? And I will take it apart and describe what we do if we look at the hand and recognize it as such. It's not immediately before our eyes, immediately. We don't put it into the middle immediately. So it is not it doesn't start from what is immediately in the center point of our vision. So we have to skip some space. So when you look at the hand, you have to skip some space, which we don't count before we centralize on that object. And then we centralize on that object and we see the hand. We focus immediately on the middle. And then from inside out, you will have a couple of forms that come out of this middle form. But one of these, these are the fingers, but one of these fingers is a bit off, so it moved a bit further. It's a bit of an exception, so it moved a bit outside that frame. That's basically how I quickly go to the hand. It's a bit further away. I see a center point, 4 fingers come out and 1 finger a little bit more to the side. It's basically my description of what I see, what I recognize in the hand. Now, what did happen here in this short time is this space, which also allows us some relation towards it, which doesn't matter at this point, but there is some space between it. That's the H. The center focus is the A. The sound, instead of A, the sound is A. So it is a bit between A, E, and E in meaning. So I mean, it is the sound that is has a certain width, a certain variation. It shows actually that there is more going on than just one thing. Instead of I have multiple things that can come out. That's the A sound, which is described in my book as well, the A sound. It's not as a written sound, but it also says, okay, there is a multiple, this split a little bit in more things, more than one. It's one center, but there is more than one thing going on inside. We don't write it down because it's just oral. It's just the oral way of how it is. The a of hand in Dutch, we say it as a, but in English we say a, and the a sound shows that there is more variation in it, not more than that. And out of this, more is going on in there. In that center point of A is N with the letter N, because that something comes out. And it is this multiplication. More things will come out. These are the 4 fingers, of course, that are coming out. And there was, of course, one exception. So there is one thing that moved a bit away. The sound to say I have a placement, but it moved a bit away. It is a bit further away. It is fitting with the letter D. This combination is actually what I said, how I focused upon the hand. I recognized it several parts a bit further away with the center, with some variations in the center where more things come out. But one of these things is a bit off in timing, a bit off in whatever, how you can describe it. It all fits with the D, and together it forms the word hand. Let's show it differently, a bit differently. So I said also, like, you have a choice in letters, and all these letters, they are 9 letters that fit within space in one focus, another 10 letters that fit into the double focus, and a few more letters, 7 more letters themselves. There are 9 positions, 7 letters. They fit to the contextual, or to the contextual frame. So it means you have a little bit more things going on there. And I have, for each of these letters, I can show it. I can show them as circles, as one circle for the positions, and that only have one center. And this center moves to all these spaces within that center. I can have 1 center, 2 centers, or 3 centers. That's all about space. I can have more variations with the double focus, and these are about timings, and even more focuses with the triple focus. All the letters fit there, and I had them in my previous 3 videos. You had them all slowly shown how they were. So I can use them because they are also about recognition. I recognize something. The first recognition is, of course, like in A. It's a center position in one point. That makes it easy. That's the A. You have a center position. No complexity there. It's just what it is. That's very easy. That's the A. The H is from the 3rd complexity. You go towards the context and you say, there's more going on. I have to bridge the context. There's something wider there. That's that space. So your focus has to bridge that space in context. There is a space bridged here also. The N, that it, okay, I have this I turned upside down, so the horizontal and vertical works now in a different way. So if you look them up in my book or in my videos, you will have them turned as well, because the I is looking further. I have it you see it here from left to right, let's say. So you see the focus opening with a space. You have a spatial center. Something comes out and something splits. I will show it a bit better in the next video. So what I basically have with the focuses, there are 4 recognition points in recognizing the hand. One is this space which in the H opens, but it also gives a way where I have to look. So it's a bit away, so the context will show you where to start, and I have to start a little bit off before I have the centralized focus. So I have the central fact. Things are taken out, and some exception is moved aside. Basically, it's the next thing that happens. So you look at the object, the hand, first into the wide context. That's my first focus of attention, in which, of course, I have a contextual place that I find, the A, the center point, in which via A there's more variation, but the N is taken out something vertically, and then horizontally or in the opposite direction there is one exception, which is that one finger which is off. So together it is this hand, of course, that you can recognize as a puzzle, where you see the hand, how you see the hand, and which parts you see when looking at the hand, when having your focus going towards the hand via H, meeting the hand at A, meeting the fingers at N, and meeting the thumb at the D. Just one more example, and then I will go further with my explanations. Let's have the foot as well. And also there you have F, the directions or direction. It's moving into a direction. The O also, it's evolving from one environment because it's a double O to another one with the sound U, so in an evolutionary state. So it goes from one environment to another one as 2 areas, as going from one area to another one, and it ends with T, or a placement. And that's basically describing the foot. It's going into a direction from one environment to the other, even if its form is going from one environment to the other one, one O to one O, let's say, evolving towards the other one, so that you can reach a position. That's basically describing the foot. And then, of course, with the focuses, you have these focuses that you have this. The first one is your focus in the timings. So you see a timing. There is something, in between 2 timings. The F will be noticed first. So you notice a certain movement towards a direction. It's not defined which direction. The O moves it forward. So this gives it a direction. It moves it forward to a specific moment. And it ends with T, a specific placement. A placement, of course, at a place and so on. So you end in a placement by some movement. Where shall I move to? It's basically, it says I move forward and I give it a place. That's what my foot will do. So the question can, of course, occur. So if this is inhibited, or when it is really an organ of recognition, that we recognize forms and can associate it with letters that fit to these forms, if this is really true, if this is a kind of filter that we use to recognize things, how does it come that we not all the people in the whole world use the same words for the same things? Of course, that's a very logical question, And it's a very good question. And I will answer that in a moment, because when you name a thing differently, you have a different perspective, of course. You have a different vision on it. You look at it differently. And it's not steady that you, for instance, have a hand and you look at it always in the same way. The associations can be different, or even your starting points can be different, and so on. But I will give you an example of two languages, two words of two countries that live next to each other, or close to each other, or even influenced each other during the whole history. So you have the English first, the hand, which is also the German word, hand. England and Germany have connections, of course, because the Saxons were also there. England had also some moves, and so the language is also influenced by the Saxon languages, of course. The hand is, okay, that's another chapter. I'm not going to go deeper into that, but hand is used as a word, for instance, in England. It's also used in Dutch language. It's also used in German language. Let's compare it to the French then. That's the neighboring country, also quite a lot of history of interconnections between those two countries. But they will say main. It's the same thing, hand and main. How does it come that it's a completely different word, which seems to have no relations whatsoever? Also here the answer is the same. It is the perspective upon what the hand is, or where you start using your hand, or how you use your hand, is not the same. But I can show you in a very simple example what is the difference. Difference is already shown in this image. You have the main, which is the French hand reaching out, and you have the hand of the other. It's not that the other hand is that one of the English. It's not like that. But the vision of the main is certainly a starting point from what can I do with my hand to reach the other? What will I do? So the M also as a sound starts from the inside. So it's completely the opposite. It seems to be the opposite direction than you first breach a space, go towards the other hand. That's basically what the hand then as a word does. It goes towards the other hand with some space between it. Le main, the hand, the French hand, starts immediately from its own vision, with its own language as well. It will not speak English, it will speak French. The French say, what can I do? From my perspective, from my language. And you can also see mine are, as in sounds and so on, are a bit the same. It starts from my extensions and then reaches the hand. That's what the main does. Now that's the difference then with the English. It also starts, of course, from its own viewpoint, as you can see in the name. But its viewpoint is, I look at the other. What do I have? What can the communication bring? What kind of openings do I have? What kind of opportunities I have? It takes a distance, look at the other, and see also the hand. And that's the way how it looks at the hand. It doesn't say like, okay, I take the initiative because I'm like that. Yeah. It's like, and you can also say, okay, it has advantages then with the French. They could be a bit compliant and say, okay, it's not a selfish act. It can be a compliant one. It can be a warm gesture, like I start my initiative. While the English then a little bit have the tendency, because of the usage of the word, I take a distance. This air is between us. There's some space between us. the space between the island and the other lands, some space between us, some distance between us. What can I do? What can I do? What kind of proposition can I do? What kind of communications will it bring in before I reach out my hand? The hands are the same. The starting points are a bit different, and that's how also the words are different. And it has consequences, of course, in how we deal with things in the world, how we associate, how we give an order to things. Both of these hands and the reaching hands, it's the same area, it's the same thing, and the results can be the same. The starting points, in a way, could somewhat be the same, but they are influenced by the patterns that are also there in the words. That's also something that I try to explain now and then. By naming the things differently, you will also behave a little bit differently towards the words, simply because how they are described. And it all hangs together, of course. Every word is not a separate word, so it doesn't mean that at some point these people have to say ma and the other one have to say hand. It doesn't work like that. They all hang together. How the combination of all the words make it a prosperous, give it a prosperous effect, or a more difficult, gives it a more difficult approach. It's all according to circumstances sometimes, like what you do with it, why you name these words like this and so on. But that's of course a whole other discussion if we go deeper into that. I hope you enjoyed. There's some books there, some Facebook pages, a web page too with previously recorded words. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks again. Bye.